Hello everybody, and thank you very much for joining me for another Scream Queens review. Today I will be reviewing Season 2, Episode 9, Lovin' the D, and as always there will be episode spoilers. Uh, as you all know, I thought this has kind of been an up and down season of Scream Queens. It's had some rough spots, and I thought this was another average episode. Basically, everything having to do with the main plot of the season I found interesting, and everything that had to do with subplots I found to pretty much fail, which has pretty much been my complaint with the show all year. So we actually started with a pretty good scene where all three of our killers attack our main Chanels that are left, but they can't get along, so all the Chanels get away. I thought this was pretty amusing scene, and when you add Hester into the mix at the end of the scene, it makes it even better. So Hester has this meeting with our three killers, and they each go over who each one has killed, and they argue about who's going to kill the remaining Chanels. I thought this scene was amusing and it worked okay, although I'm not really sure it was needed in the episode. Why we needed to know any of this when we're going to see who goes after who anyway, I'm not really sure. But it was fine. It was an amusing scene. So later in the episode, Wes and Dr. Cascade have a chat, and Wes's idea is to blame everything on Nurse Ingrid. When this is all over, get her in trouble. Dr. Cascade seems to agree, but as we'll see at the end of the episode, I think he must change his mind, or he was just telling Wes what he wanted to hear. Another big part of this episode was this subplot with this Dr. Lovin. Why we're having these kind of subplots this late in the season, I'm not really sure, but whatever. Basically, she wants Dr. Holt and Chanel's to be on this television show and perform a surgery, but the Chanels have to pass this medical test to prove they're med students. They do wind up passing the test by cheating, except for number 5, who really passes it, which was amusing but pretty ridiculous at the same time that she'd be able to pass this test. But it's Scream Queens, I guess you just got to go with it. These scenes were amusing but don't really add anything to the plot of the show. So then Dr. Lovin is killed right before the show's supposed to start in a drink meant for Chanel Oberlin. In a scene that wasn't that great. But things get worse from there. They actually go on this show and perform a surgery. These scenes were not good at all. Actually, I thought they were pretty awful. Not really funny at all, and just a strange tone. And then after the show, the Chanels are told they're going to get their own show because this went so well. When really, I didn't think it was very interesting at all, so I'm not sure why they'd be given their own show. I guess this was supposed to be a joke, but I just totally missed the point of all these scenes. Just more filler, in my opinion. So we also did have a brief scene with Zayday, who's still Jane's prisoner. Dr. Cascade comes home with Chanel number 3 for a visit, and number 3 and Dr. Cascade's mother Jane get in a discussion, and basically Dr. Cascade sides with his mom and says he can't stop the killings, but his mother wants Chanel number 3 to be killed, so it will be interesting to see if Dr. Cascade can actually go through with that or not. This was probably the best scene in the episode, in my opinion. So, once again, we get 2 big reveals at the end of the episode, like Scream Queens continues to do, gives us an average episode, and then a couple big things at the end to keep us back. Basically, the 3 killers meet, and they're still kind of arguing, and Nurse Ingrid and Dr. Cascade decide that they're going to eliminate Wes to make it look like the killer is gone, when really they will still be out there as killers. I guess this kind of makes sense. But before they can kill him, Wes, knowing what's going to happen, kind of does himself in, which didn't really make a lot of sense either. But it's Scream Queens, you just got to go with it. And then the Dean reveals her big secret to everyone to end the episode. So like I said, it's like for every great scene, there was like a really bad scene in this episode, which kind of fits the whole season, very up and down. And actually, I don't think the main plot of the season has necessarily been that bad, but all the subplots have been really, really poor in my opinion. So overall, I'm going to give Lovin' the D a 2.5 out of 5. Just another average episode, and it'll be interesting to see what the finale is like next week. So 2.5 out of 5 for Lovin' the D, and as always, thank you very much for watching.